You know what has everyone talking right now? Selena Gomez just locked down her billion-dollar empire with a prenup before marrying Benny Blanco, and honestly, this is the smartest move she could have made. If you're new here and want the real tea on celebrity news without all the fluff, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're diving straight into this story, and trust me, you're going to want to hear every single detail about why this prenup is causing such a stir online. So here's what went down. Selena Gomez made it crystal clear that Benny Blanco needed to sign a prenuptial agreement before they walked down the aisle, and according to insider sources, this wasn't even up for discussion. We're talking about protecting a billion-dollar business empire here. This includes her entire music catalog, all her real estate investments, and the crown jewel of her empire, Rare Beauty, which has become one of the most successful beauty brands in the industry. The sources are saying that both Selena and Benny made this mutual decision to sign the prenup before they exchanged their wedding vows, and apparently there was zero hesitation from either side. Now let me tell you why this matters so much. Selena didn't inherit this wealth. She wasn't born into a family of Hollywood royalty. She built everything from absolutely nothing. We're talking about a woman who started from the ground up, working her way through Disney Channel, building a music career, and then creating a beauty empire that's worth more than most people can even imagine. Every single dollar in her bank account came from her own hard work, her own talent, and her own business decisions. So when people start criticizing her for wanting to protect what she built, I have to ask, what planet are they living on? The insider source shared something really important. They said this wasn't about suspicion, it was about respect. Selena built everything from the ground up, and the prenup was simply acknowledging that reality. Think about it for a second. She spent years grinding, working insane hours, making smart business decisions, and turning herself into not just a celebrity, but a legitimate businesswoman with $1 billion net worth. Why on earth would she risk losing any of that, no matter how much she loves someone? And here's the thing that people need to understand about Benny Blanco. The man is worth over $50 million himself. He's not broke. He's not looking for a handout. He's a successful music producer in his own right, and according to sources, he was completely on board with signing the prenup. The insider said he was fully supportive because he loves her and respects what she's achieved. There was zero drama about it. That tells you everything you need to know about their relationship. This is two successful people who understand business and are mature enough to handle their finances responsibly. Let's talk about the timeline here, because it's actually pretty romantic when you think about it. Selena and Benny announced their engagement on December 11th, 2024, which was about a year after they started dating. Then, on September 27th, 2025, they tied the knot in what everyone is calling a fairy tale wedding. Selena shared gorgeous photos from the ceremony, and you could see how happy they both were. But behind that happiness was also smart planning and protection of assets, which honestly makes the whole thing even better because it shows they're thinking long-term. Now I need to address something that's been driving me crazy. There are people out there criticizing Selena for getting a prenup, saying things like, she must know the marriage won't last, or she's still hung up on her ex, or she's just using Benny as a placeholder. Can we just stop with that nonsense for a second? Getting a prenup doesn't mean you think your marriage will fail. It means you're being realistic about life. It means you understand that people change, circumstances change, and protecting yourself financially is just smart business. Look at what happens in Hollywood divorces. Kelly Clarkson had to pay her ex-husband hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. Nicole Kidman has a prenup with Keith Urban that says if they divorce after 18 years of marriage, she has to pay him $600,000 for every year they were married. That's over $10 million. Keith Urban's net worth is $75 million. Nicole's is $250 million. So even with a prenup protecting some of her assets, she still has to pay out millions. Without a prenup, the financial damage could be absolutely devastating. The reality that nobody wants to talk about is this. You can be madly in love with someone today and be their worst enemy tomorrow. That's just facts. Love is beautiful and wonderful, but it doesn't pay the bills when you're going through a nasty divorce. And divorces can get incredibly nasty, especially when one person feels hurt or rejected. Their ego gets bruised, and suddenly they want to take everything from you just to hurt you back. They want to destroy what you love most, whether that's your business, your money, your home, or even sentimental things that matter to you. I don't care if you have $1 billion or a collection of vintage comic books. Whatever you built or earned before you met your partner should stay yours if the relationship ends. That's not being pessimistic or unromantic. That's being smart. That's protecting your future. That's making sure that if things go south, you can walk away without losing everything you worked for. Some people are saying that Selena getting a prenup means she doesn't really love Benny or doesn't believe in their future together. That's complete garbage. You know what shows love? Being mature enough to have difficult conversations about money and assets before you get married. Being responsible enough to make sure both people are protected. Being realistic enough to acknowledge that while you hope and plan for forever, you also need to be prepared for any outcome. And let's be real about something else. Selena has been in the public eye since she was a kid. She's seen relationships fall apart. She's watched celebrity divorces play out in the media. She knows what can happen when marriages end, and there's no protection in place. She's smart enough to learn from other people's mistakes instead of making those same mistakes herself. That's not cynical, that's wise. Benny Blanco signing the prenup without any drama also shows what kind of man he is. He's secure enough in himself and his own success that he doesn't need to rely on Selena's money. He's confident enough in their relationship that he's not offended by the idea of a prenup. He respects her enough to understand why this matters to her. That's the kind of partner everyone should want. Someone who supports your decisions and respects your boundaries, especially when it comes to protecting what you've built. The prenup conversation is also important because it shows that Selena is thinking about her future beyond just this marriage. She's thinking about her business, her brand, her legacy. Rare beauty isn't just a side project for her. It's become a major player in the beauty industry. It's providing jobs for people. It's making a real impact. She has a responsibility to protect that, not just for herself, but for everyone who depends on that business. And here's something people forget. A prenup isn't just about protecting the person with more money. It actually protects both people. It makes everything clear from the beginning. There's no confusion about who owns what. There's no fighting about who deserves what if things end. Everything is already decided, which actually makes a potential divorce much less painful and much less expensive because you're not spending years in court fighting over assets. The fact that this prenup was a mutual decision between Selena and Benny makes it even better. They sat down together, probably with lawyers, and worked out an agreement that both of them felt comfortable with. That's healthy communication. That's what a strong relationship looks like. They're not just swept up in romance and ignoring practical realities. They're building a partnership based on love and respect, and also smart financial planning. Some people are also saying that if you really love someone, you shouldn't need a prenup because you should trust them completely. But here's the thing. Trust and protection aren't opposites. You can trust someone completely and still acknowledge that people change. You can believe in your relationship and still be smart about protecting your assets. Those things aren't contradictory. They're actually complementary because being financially responsible reduces stress in a marriage, which actually makes the relationship stronger. Think about all the celebrity couples who got divorced without prenups and how ugly those divorces got. Think about how much money they spent on lawyers. Think about how long they spent in court. Think about how much of their personal business got dragged through the media. Now compare that to couples who had prenups. Their divorces are usually much quieter, much quicker, and much less destructive because everything was already decided before emotions got involved. Selena has also been very open about her health struggles and her mental health journey. She's talked about how important it is for her to have stability and peace in her life. Having a prenup actually contributes to that stability because she knows that no matter what happens in her marriage, her financial security is protected. She doesn't have to worry about losing everything she built. She can focus on her relationship without that underlying fear. The truth is, prenups should be normalized for everyone, not just celebrities. Whether you have $1 billion or $10,000, you should protect what's yours. You should have clear agreements about finances before you get married. You should know what happens to your assets if the marriage ends. That's not being negative or pessimistic. That's being an adult and taking responsibility for your financial future. And for people saying that Selena is planning for divorce by getting a prenup, let me flip that around. She's actually planning for success. She's planning to keep building her empire. She's planning to keep growing her businesses. She's planning to keep earning money and investing wisely. The prenup protects all of that growth and success. It ensures that everything she accomplishes during her marriage stays hers if the marriage ends. That's not planning for failure. That's planning for continued success. Selena and Benny have shown that you can have a romantic, loving relationship while also being smart about business and finances. You don't have to choose between love and financial protection. You can have both. You should have both. Anyone who tells you different is probably someone who's never had to deal with a complicated divorce or watch their hard-earned assets get taken away by an ex-partner. The fact that this prenup is making headlines also shows how much people still don't understand about protecting your wealth and your business. They see it as cold or calculating when really it's just responsible. They see it as a lack of faith in the relationship when really it's about having faith in yourself and your ability to protect what you've built. They see it as unromantic when actually, being able to have honest conversations about difficult topics is one of the most romantic things you can do because it shows you're building a real partnership based on trust and communication. At the end of the day, Selena Gomez made a smart decision that protects her billion-dollar empire while still allowing her to fully commit to her marriage with Benny Blanco. She showed that you can be in love and be smart about business at the same time. She proved that protecting your assets doesn't mean you don't trust your partner. She demonstrated that having difficult conversations before marriage is actually a sign of a healthy relationship. And she set an example for other people, famous or not, about why prenups are important and necessary. So if you made it this far, you now know the full story about Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco's prenup and why it's actually a positive thing despite what some critics are saying. This is about a smart businesswoman protecting what she built while still following her heart and marrying someone she loves. And if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. Make sure you subscribe to stay updated on all the latest celebrity news and stories that actually matter, and I'll see you in the next one.